Hey everybody, we are here at Advantage Archery in Twin Falls, Idaho, and we are going to film a couple of line times on Saturday. So they have a 12 o'clock line time and we have a 3 o'clock line time. So we're going to capture some of that footage, and then tomorrow, Sunday, we're going to go live as the finals come in. Or I keep saying live, but it'll post right after, most likely. So right after it's over, you're going to get that with all the results, everybody that was participating. This is happening in 4 or 5 locations around the Idaho and Utah. There's multiple locations that are doing qualification events. We happen to be at the Advantage Archery shoot because this is where Jacey is putting this on with Caleb. It's her high school senior project. This is for the American Heart Foundation. We'll talk about that a little bit later, and we'll get you turned into a little bit of the shooting. So this is a Vegas round. But they're scoring it like Lancaster, so X's are 11s. So this is going to be their first scoring in that they're getting into right now, and as they get started, we'll follow along as they do that.
So right now we just got some shooters, I believe, shooting here on line 7, 8, and 9. The gentleman in the white shirt is target 8 here. The woman in the black sweatshirt is going to be target 9. Bottom. There's her shot. And in the white is going to be 8 bottom. And you see that hit. Looks like there's a little can that's in the way there. We'll try and get rid of that obstruction. But yeah, this is Jacey Cypriano's senior high school project. She's putting on this tournament for Advantage Archery for the Heart Foundation. So that holds a special place in her heart, and so she has decided to do this as a fundraiser for the Heart Foundation. So great to be here, great to support her and her senior project.
Cool to see everybody come in to and to be able to participate. So Jacey put this on because her family was directly affected by heart issues and diabetes and so on. So she wanted to give back to the community and to try to solve this nationwide, pandemic essentially. So it's really nice. So they're shooting a 450 Vegas round. So it's not a normal 300 Vegas round. It's just that target. So it's the multicolor target. The center ring is about the size of a dime. That's the X ring. That's going to be worth 11 points. About a 50-cent piece is a 10, and each, not just color, each little ring is -1 point all the way to the end. Now you only see that go out to the blue ring, which is out to just the 6, worth 6 points. If someone doesn't feel like they could stay within that, they have the option to shoot a single spot, and there are a couple of people doing that, and they because their division might be harder if you're shooting bare bow. That's classically what you'll see a lot of people shooting. What you see in front of you right now is everyone shooting a 3-spot, so they feel confident that they're going to shoot all their arrows within that blue ring or better. If you look at there's a target that we'll show you here on the wall. There's that single spot in the middle. It's not just yellow, red, blue, and black and white. Each one of those has 2 scoring rings in it. With the exception of the yellow, it has actually 3 when you count the X's as 11s. So each one would be -1 point, or you could start on the outside ring, which would be worth 1, and count all the way into 10, and either count the X as an X or count it as 11 for tie breaks. So that's how that's scored if you've never seen anything like this before. And since it's a 450 round, that means they're going to have an option or a possible score of 495 with that X's counting as 11. So if you shoot a 495, that meant you didn't drop 1 point. That was possible. That means you shot everything and your arrow touched that little dime-sized piece down at 20 yards. So we have somebody that's been capable of doing that. I believe Cisco has done that before. He has, and he's one of the owners or employees of Advantage Archery. But you also have Bodie Turner here, which is, if you're not familiar with the sport, Bodie has won a lot of events since he came onto the scene. His first year coming onto the scene, he opened up with a bang. He got 3rd place at Lancaster. He went on to a weekend or 2 weeks later to win Vegas. That's a prestigious, probably the most prestigious shoot in the world. It is where only thing that matters is how accurate you are. There's very little room to recover if you miss a point, or in his field, and the people he shoots against, the archers he shoots with, you can't miss an X, or very few. So it's really neat to see these great shooters here this weekend supporting this. Bodie shoots on the 3 o'clock line time, so we'll be highlighting that. We might get him to sit down with us a little bit and talk about what's going on and some of the people that are shooting. We'll get Jacey to sit down too and talk about some of the things that she's doing. And let's give you a quick glance at who we're talking about. So Jacey, young lady right there, standing by Caleb, the owner of Advantage Archery. That's what this is all about. So she went to Caleb and she said, I want to put this on. It's not just my high school project, but it's really special to me. So with her getting everyone together and all these shops around and the clubs around this surrounding 150-mile circle here, she's able to get, I think, 5 shops or clubs that are participating today at different line times for qualification scores. And the reason they're able to do that is it will save a little bit of time for tomorrow, and it'll save space for here today. So when you only see maybe 20 people here on the line, that means there's 5 people shooting at another shop that's their local range. There's 10 people shooting at another. There may be 20 shooting at another, and they're all going to still be competing against each other in the division that they've signed up for. So that's really neat that everyone still gets to support their local shop. They don't have to go and get a hotel, and they like to shoot a lot of shoots, so it just allows them to travel just one day and have one stay instead of multiple night stays when they go to an event. So I think in around the Northwest, because everything's more spread out, you'll see that more. So you see a lot of bows in target colors. That doesn't mean anything. They can be, blue, yellow, pinks, blacks, whatever. They can be camo. You can buy just about any bow in any configuration you want. So people that shoot, there's a general percentage of shooters that are hunters that just shoot year-round. And so since they shoot year-round, they do not want to shoot their hunting bow all year, or they get a bow that's more accurate than a classic hunting bow, and they get one that's a little longer axle to axle. It's more stable. It has more characteristics to be more accurate, just like a bench rest rifle versus a hunting rifle. They could be the same thing, but you typically wouldn't see target bows in the woods because of some of the things they use to assist them when they're shooting dime-sized dots at 20 yards over and over. So those long bars you see sticking out the front, a stabilizer, that's just providing extra balance, just like a tightrope walker would walk down a really high line. He's going to want something to help him balance, or she's going to want something that helps her balance out that walk. that's what that does. So you see that right above the stabilizer. Most of these are extended. You see sights that are extended out, and it looks like what you're looking at will. Most of those are going to be scopes. So sorry, I wasn't on the right screen there, but the stabilizer is the long bar that sticks out of the front. It's got some weights on there, usually stacked in on single ounces at a time. So you'll see shooters that shoot 5 ounces up front. You'll see some that shoot 20 ounces up front. Depends on the person, what kind of stability they're looking to get out of it. And that sight right above there, a lot of times those will be magnified lenses in those. They'll be 2 power, 3 power, 4 power, so it makes the target look that much closer. So if they're shooting a 4 power lens, which is a really common indoor lens, you're going to see the target 4 times closer, but in turn you see 4 times the movement. So that's something that you got to look out for. It doesn't mean that you're going to shoot it better just because you can see it closer. Most people that transfer their gear over from the hunting scene that have just been shooting single pins, no power, what ends up happening is they put it on freestyle equipment, and yeah, they see it closer, but they shake more, so they have to work on the hold of the bow more, and that's where the stabilization comes in. So we'll start moving the camera, some cameras around a little bit and give you a few different views. But if you've not come down to Twin Falls and visited Caleb and Cisco at Advantage Archery, I'd suggest you do it. They got a very well-stocked store, very well laid out. The range is in the basement, but they have a practice or little tuning range upstairs too at 20 yards, and they also have like it's a video shoot system, so it projects an image on or a scene onto a screen. You don't shoot regular points at it. You shoot these little blunt points, but wherever it hits on that, it will help you become a better hunter, so you know where your shots are. It'll teach you ethics. They'll have scoring rings or realistic shot cavities, so that you know that you're hitting the right spot, and it teaches you to practice your shots a little bit more. So I heard they're calling for a line judge. So what happens, how that works in the line judge, there's a group of scores and callers. So the callers are calling where they think the arrow scored, and if the side of the shaft touches the line at all, then they get the higher score. So if the caller calls a 9, for instance, and the person that shot it thinks he might have touched the 10 line, they look at it and now they ask for a second. So a second person besides them looks at it, that's in their scoring group and their shooting group, and if it differs, meaning they thought it was a 10, so now you have one called out as a 9, one called in as a 10, they'll call a line judge, which is the third and final call. Line judge doesn't know, obviously they know there's a tie, and the line judge goes down and makes the best determination of what that score is going to be. They write it down on paper and they move on. So it's always divided by an odd number of judges. That way it's a fair competition across the board. The same thing is happening in other locations too. Someone's just not walking up, shooting, getting close and saying, I think I should have got that. That's not how it works. You get it when you shoot it. So if you're watching this and you want to see more content like this, you want to support the channel, please like and subscribe. It doesn't hurt our feelings at all. We certainly aren't trying to do anything more than to grow the sport of archery across the Northwest. We're doing our part to try to make sure everyone gets a fair shake and gets the footage and the kudos that shop deserves. All right, throughout we're going to try to celebrate what they're doing. we're going to try to embed little commercials and little testimonials that Jacey has about the projects that she's working on here. So bear with us as we learn to do this a little better each time. So we appreciate you guys being patient with us as we learn to do this. We're certainly not IT professionals. We don't do this. We have 4 archery shops ourselves, but we know there was a lack of marketing and media for the pro shops that are in the Northwest. We were included in that same bunch, and as we have had the opportunity, we try to travel around and show that to the different clubs and the different shops around the Northwest. So we appreciate you guys being patient with us. If you have any comments, definitely leave them. Feedback, positive feedback, we love that. We've got that. Turn it down, turn it up. Don't play as many commercials. Those type of things matter to us. So we want to know what you want to see. Yeah, what angles, if you want to see shooters at different spots, those type of things, we can always integrate that into what we're doing.
Are you kidding me? Why can't you just shoot it in the middle? I'm joking. That was for, sorry, guys.
So definitely love hearing the little bantering going on when somebody calls in for a line judge. And you hear the just shoot in the middle, and then you wouldn't have to have those close calls. Usually the archery community is really great at bantering and having that fun camaraderie. So it's fun to hear.
Let me see if I
Looking at the new, your looking at the new Hoyt Concept X that Bodie Turner's going to be shooting this weekend. So he's giving it a test run, seeing what he likes and doesn't like about it. He'll sit down with us in just a few minutes, and we're going to talk about that bow. We're going to talk about how he gets ready for the season, what he's planning on doing, maybe some equipment he's planning on testing out and using. Most of you know Bodie or follow Bodie. He doesn't have a contract with a company, and that's how he chooses to do things. So he likes to shoot what he likes to shoot, and he's going to talk about that. So he'll tell you about this bow very raw. So he'll tell you things he likes about it, maybe what he doesn't, if he knows enough about it to even speak on it. That's important to hear. So that changes the game a little bit in the sport. He's one of the few people that have ever done that, and we'll talk about that with him a little bit later. And if you're wondering who you're listening to, we'll give you a quick look here. So I'm that dude that's really good looking with the beard, and that's Megan, my wife, hanging on my shoulder there. And you got our little dog Odie in the truck looking out beside the window, and then Ruby. That's who travels around with us all the time. And then Hunter, he's up on top. He looks like he's got a prototype bow up there, so he's testing that out. I don't know what he's shooting at, but we're on the go. We're always traveling around, and hopefully you get a kick out of us showing up here. So like again, I said, like and subscribe. It'll help us grow the channel. It'll help us reach more archers all over the place. It'll help the pro shops that need it get that support that they need, because they're busy running that business. And we know we've had our shops for 25 years now, and we could not do what we're doing right now until about February. And that's when we made a dedicated surge to try to grow the marketing side of brick and mortar shops in the Northwest. So we don't charge anything to show up. If you've got a big event in the Northwest, we can certainly talk about what's going on at your location and try to get out there too. So I think who you're looking at right now that's Kaylee on lane 9 at full draw in the gold, and that's Lindsay in the gray hat, black shirt, getting ready to draw back right now. So Lindsay is JC's mom. They're going to be, I think, in the same division. And the way they decided to style the shoot is there's not as many divisions as you would see in something like the Lancaster Classic or the Archery World Classic, where we have 17 divisions. They have theirs broken down very simplistically so that they can get more people into different divisions and then kind of shoot up from there. So in a shoot up format, what will happen is tomorrow, everybody that qualifies all over all the shops and clubs are shooting in today for this will come in tomorrow, and they'll be ranked from first to however many are in that division. So if there happens to be 14 or 15, they're going to do a bracket style shoot up. So what'll happen is they will get to go heads up against each other and then narrow it down until there's one clear winner. So in the past, it looks like they've done single elimination brackets, and we'll follow that same format. We'll get some details from them. We'll get some Excel files. We'll try to share those results with you as soon as we can too. So while we are filming, if they can tabulate it as fast as we hope, while we're filming the 3 o'clock line, we'll know what happened at the noon line. So we'll be able to tell at least what happened at Advantage Archery. We can't post them up everywhere. We're not that coordinated yet. That's 5 different locations that are shooting. There's only 2 of us. So to gather all that and to get it pushed out to you, we know we'll have final results, and we'll post it up on Archery Northwest, their Instagram page tonight. We'll post those results up. You're going to see that come out at each of the individual shops that had shooters at it too, and you're also going to see that at Advantage Archery, the tabulated scores.
So it looks like the youth just finishing up scoring down there. It's always fun to see the youngsters out doing their thing. Alright, so we've got the bottom line shooters going up first here. And on the far end, in lane 16 over there, we have, looks like Hiram Hansen. Lane 15, we've got Scott Jones. And I just misspoke, so I apologize. We got George Watson on 16. So I apologize. This is the bottom line. Jacob Climbs. Then Clayton Allen is on lane 13. Avery Bush on lane 12 in the gray shirt. Looks like Michael Birmingham on lane 11.
And I'll do that. So Megan's, we're like we need to be an octopus. We each need to have 8 arms here to try to keep up with it, because we're trying to give you different angles and stuff too. But on lane 10 we have Kelly Pickett. Lane 9 we have Kayla Villegas. Looks like lane 8 is Chuck Whitney, and Ken G. We'll call him Kenny G for the day, only once though, so if he's young he won't know who Kenny G is. If he's old he might not like him, so we don't know. So lane 7 was Ken G. So.
And now we're up on the top line.
All right, let's hit that out. So what we got is, let's start from the big end there. So we got Hiram Hansen on 16, Scott Jones on 15, Daniel Williams for 14. Then you got Jeff Villegas, Morgan Bush.
And I think that might be the last quiz.
El Vasquez. I don't know. I don't say it right. I'm just going to say first name Dallas.
Yes,
Then
let's do
Kaylee on
that.
10, Lindsay on 9, Tony on 8, and Eric on 7.
All right.
So we have I want to talk about a couple of big goals that we have. We're talking to shops about being able to create some bigger shoots in the Northwest and using some of these to get us there. So as we get together with owners and as we're owners ourselves, we want to see a big shoot in the Northwest. And we're working on that right now. So there's some big shoots coming up. You have, and I'm not going to catch them all, I'm just going to talk about the ones that come into my mind. We've got the Archery World Classic that is coming up in December. So I'll talk about that one a little bit later. Right after that, you have the shootout in the Blues, or shoot down in the Blues rather, down at Alpine Archery in La Grande. A lot of people go to that too. It's a real fun shoot. We'll be there filming for them as well as the Classic. So those will be 2 more that we hit this winter time as we turn into that cold weather.
So as they're scoring, go ahead and put in a little plug for the upcoming shoot. The Archery World Classic in Lacey, Washington. And that shoot is the designed to be similar to the Lancaster Classic, just so that we can help support that, get people ready for that shoot. But those on the West Coast that aren't able to maybe travel to the East Coast to Lancaster, this will give them the opportunity to have a similar experience on a little lower scale level. All right, so we focused in there. Mr. Clayton Allen helped us with a little bit of the setup last night, so we appreciate him and anyone that gives us that help. All right, so you can see the numbers on the floor. Obviously not so well when they stand on them, but that's what we're going off. And then also what we'll try to do is also, zoom in on specific archers' targets, so you can also see where their arrows are hitting. So you see Clayton there on 13, and looks like he just shot a 9 there. It's a long hold for Clayton, and just looks like it's high and right. Might be pitch in there, but I think that's going to be a 9 as well.
Who's that young man to his right in the blue? Is
I
that
believe that is Michael.
Michael? Okay.
And that looks like a solid X for
Yep.
Clayton on that final arrow.
Yep. So he'll score 11 points on that. All right, on lane 10, you got Kaylee. We'll kind of look at what she's got going on. There you go. Lane 11's popping up there now. That's Dallas. On that top line on Kaylee, looks like she shot an X on that first shot. We'll keep Megan, if you can zoom in on that target 10, and it looks like her second shot that's going to catch a 10 as well. So that first shot's going to be close to an 11. It could be a 10. It depends on how close it is to that center little dime-sized dot there, that X. So here she is at full draw. Last arrow. And it looks like it's going to be another solid 10. That could be, it's hard to tell from this angle. Those she's shooting a 27 diameter, so it's 27/64 of an inch. That's the largest legal diameter you could shoot in indoor competition, with the exception of USA Archery. They cannot shoot above a 9.3 millimeter, so which is going to be basically a 23 diameter. So since most indoor shoots are built around the idea of shooting in Las Vegas at the World Archery Festival. 27s are what they shoot when they're shooting indoors. And when you shoot with a release, you can get away with shooting a little larger diameter. If you're shooting fingers like a bare bow, you cannot do that. You have to shoot the properly spined arrow that will, because when you shoot fingers, it's really, really hard.
Jacey, we at target 8 or switch right after 7?
There's enough light.
So here we've got targets 6, 7, 8, and 9 up on the screen. And Ken G is shooting on the bottom of 7. Chuck Whitney is shooting on the bottom of 8. And Kayla, I believe, is shooting on the bottom of 9. Ken there in the green shirt on 7. Chuck in the white shirt. Kayla there in full draw right now. Right, Ken there on 7, full draw. Target looks like a pretty solid 30, if not 31 on that round. And that looks like a solid X there for Chuck on his final arrow. So up here, closest to us, I believe we've got Hiram Hansen, Scott Jones, Daniel Williams. Get zoomed in on their targets here. They're going to be these top targets here.
We had two of these.
So higher there on 16 top. Looks like it shot solid 28, not 29 for that round. And as they go down and score, we will show you another little preview of Jacey and this event.
This is 7. This is 7, yeah. And 7.
You just got done shooting around 7.
Like Casey's, Casey's around 6.
Archery in Twin Falls, Idaho, and I'm with Jacey Cypriano.
Okay, guys.
All right, ready? Just leave it going.
Okay.
All right, just let it run. Just let it run. As soon as she sees the light, she starts laughing. So just let it go through.
Why is the light not shutting off?
That's because it's recording.
Oh, okay.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Okay. Hey everyone, this is Joe from Archery Northwest, and I'm here in Twin Falls at Advantage Archery, and I'm here with Jacey, and we're having a special shoot this weekend. Jacey, let's talk about this. I want you to talk about what the shoot's about, where the idea came from, what inspired you to do this.
So my grandpa passed away at the age of 46 with like super high blood pressure and cholesterol, and he didn't know he had it. And my dad has been diagnosed with it, and it's a genetic thing. And so all my donations and all the money I raise will go to the American Heart Association.
Awesome.
So yeah, because it just means something to me.
And this is a senior student project for you
Yeah,
too, right?
it's my senior project.
So that's pretty cool.
Okay, yeah, so the shoot is a 450 game with X's as 11s, and then on Sunday it'll be bracket style, like a Vegas or Lancaster shoot off.
All right, one of the things that's happening also is this isn't just happening at Advantage Archery.
Right.
What else is going on and how is it working?
So they're doing a qualifying line here at Advantage. They're gonna do one at Nampa Bow Chiefs in Nampa, Idaho, one at Idaho Archery in Pocatello, and one in Daddis Archery in Utah.
That's awesome. So the purpose of that is to save that extra drive and that hotel time, and it'll allow everyone to all get together on Sunday. They'll already have a pre-score or a qualification score, and so what'll happen is the shoot-off will occur on Sunday, right?
Correct.
And then they'll shoot from whatever spot they are, and it'll be a classic shoot-up situation.
Yeah.
What you'll do is you'll have one winner in each division at that point, and so if there's 20 people in that division, but they're all qualifying in different locations, everyone will show up on Sunday, and they'll know where they stand, and they'll be able to shoot their way from the bottom to the top if they've got it going on that day.
Yep, exactly.
Anything else?
We have some super cool prizes actually. So first place will win a buckle. Second place is a release pouch from Just Don't Miss, and then third place will get custom engraved knives.
That's really cool. So we appreciate you putting this on and thinking about supporting others. And we also want to say a special thanks to Caleb, because without him offering this up and all these clubs and shops offering this up, it would be harder to put on. So we really appreciate their efforts in that too, and helping support support the whole cause.
Yes, we do. That means a lot to me.
Megan had to step away for a second. Was that the half and they just switched or not yet?
To be honest, I hate to be honest, but I was a little focused on a couple of logistical things back
Right.
here, so I don't believe it does look like the top line shooters are now shooting on the bottom.
Yep, that's
Yes.
what I thought I heard him say because I was trying to clear up something on the IT side too. So you're taking a look at JC's mom right in the middle. Lindsay just shot her last arrow, and right next to it, you got Tony. I got to shoot against Tony and Nampa Bow Chiefs last year at one of the warm-ups that we did over there, and he is an awesome shooter. He shoots out at advantage, so it was cool to meet him for the first time. Super genuine, super humble guy. It's nice to be able to shoot against people that want to shoot their best. You want to shoot your best, and we don't care who wins. We just want to win, and we don't, he's not arrogant at all, so that's really cool. All right, so you got the top line up now. Again, Clayton in lane 13, and I think from where you're at right here, you can see Ken and it looks like Chuck in lane 8 in a white shirt. And looks like Kayla at full draw beside of Chuck there. And then you got Kelly Pickett, obviously name on the back of the jersey in the black and neon green jersey as well. Then that young man, Michael, in the blue, with blue turquoise hat. Getting ready to draw back. So he's a left-handed shooter. And so is Kayla. Looks like Kayla is a left-handed shooter as well. So we move that camera over, take a look at a couple of bows. You got the Matthews title. That's the 38-inch bow they came out with last year. I'm personally shooting that bow. I just like the platform, holds good for me. I don't shoot as much as I should, so I go to what I'm the most familiar with. But in this market, there's so many great bows, so many easy ways to get a bow to shoot well for you. And once you become accustomed to a specific brand, sometimes you stay in that brand forever. Sometimes you have the mindset that you can move around and maybe play with what might shoot better. And I think that's what Bodie does, is he finds what's going to work for him, and he goes with that. Since I don't shoot near as much, I want to shoot what I feel the most familiar and the most confident with, and it happens to be the Title. But years before that, it was a Hoyt in their ProTech series, and back in the day, older bows that they're older now, but they were great shooting bows. You got the Dominator Duo that's there too. PSE really has had a solid target line for a long time. This is their they've made a surge in the last few years again with their target lineup. You get a lot of awesome shooters shooting them. But it comes down to go to your shop. Jacey. Go to your local shop. Find out when their leagues are, and then when their leagues are in a specific time, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it doesn't matter. Go there, show up. There's so many people that'll help you, give you information. Take all that information in, use that resource, and then find what's going to work for you. And it would not surprise me in the least bit that somebody would say, hey, try mine if they're close to your draw length and the same poundage that you had pulled, so that you would understand what the bow feels like before you purchase something like that. We have, just like Caleb does here, a pro shooting staff. They're at leagues all the time because they're trying to hone their skills. They will put that bow in your hand, and everyone shoots something slightly different, and they will want you to experience it and help you to decide what's best for you, brand-wise first, and then fitting it up is going to come just with shooting it and having conversations with the same people that are going through the same process. All right, that furthest one in the brown and black hat, wearing a blue shirt, blue pants, that's George Watson. We're going to watch him and Jacob and Clayton shoot there. And just on the edge of the screen, you're going to get Avery and Michael taking a few shots too. We'll kind of see how they're doing right now this end. Looks like George has I can't tell if that's a Title from this point of view or a TRX 38. It looks like it could be a TRX 38, which was Matthew's previous target bow they ran for a few years. So they replaced the TRX 38 with a Title, and they make that Title in a 36 and a 38-inch axle to axle. Depends on what string angle you want, what speed you want, because the speeds are slightly different on one versus the other. If you live down in the southwest or the southeast, you're prone to like the 36 a lot of the times, because a lot of people get to go out and shoot a lot of ASAs, a lot of field shooting at 3Ds, and the 36 is a little bit snappier, gives a little bit better string angle for them a lot of the times. And the 38 is a classic indoor target bow that people take outside because it dominates outside just as well. 20 seconds on the clock. No one's really coming close to run out of time. It's pretty normal, a 2-minute clock, unless you have something really catastrophic happen, or you're really nervous and you have a hard time loading your arrow on the string, or you let down more than once, that you'll come close on time. And then what you might hear from time to time is somebody count down from 10. So if someone gets really close, they're already stranded on the line, so they feel nervous anyway. So they will end up having somebody count down for them just naturally, because it's a courtesy thing that archers do for each other. That way they get a shot off before that buzzer rings, because if it rings they don't and that arrow is not shot, they won't get that score.
Jacey!
You only have 4? Wow. It's the same group of people. It's either that group or you.
Hot release. Man, I like that. I don't like that. Why? Because I can't touch it.
Shoot one upstairs? Go shoot one upstairs, make sure. You can't shoot one down here.
All right, we'll try this again. We were not, we didn't have the mics on, but we're talking about this. So Bodie shoots whatever he wants, whenever he wants. He's not signed with anybody. That's key to you right now on why you do what you do. If you get a lot of questions in our shops about it all the time because you shoot out of the shops, and that's your home range, you know. So let's talk about why you pick what you do and what made you decide to not sign with anyone specific right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've always just kind of shot what I thought was, or gave me the best chance to win, because I would say that's probably the most important thing you can do is win. As I get older, I'll have to start considering contracts and things like that. Like, I'll probably maybe try to sign after, probably next year, after indoor season, once I can get at least an indoor season really fine-tuned for what bow and what manufacturer I'd like to go with.
So it's just kind of honing it down. You're kind of like trying the waters. The way I kind of see it in my head, and tell me if I'm wrong, it's like Ford, Dodge, and Chevy. So if you're familiar with the layout in the cockpit, you know, you get in there and you really like the way the ergonomics are of it and it feels comfortable to you. The next Ford, they're not going to redesign the whole thing so that you hate it. So if you already liked what you had before, the next evolution or the next gen of that bow is typically not going to be so dramatic that it's going to turn you off from it. There's going to be every once in a while that a company will revamp their whole system because it's ran through all the changes they can do. But what I'm hearing is you want to find what you feel the best with, what you see that company doing in the future, and of course you get to fly to the different companies and talk to them, and you help them with engineering and everything else too, right? They usually only get that out of signed contracts because that's what one of their obligations is to help them field test that equipment under the maximum pressure at international shooting level. And that's different with you because you can be invited in for PSC, then Matthews, then Hoyt, and everybody's going to want to know your opinion on the bow. What makes you like it? What makes you not like it? Why did you shoot at this event but you switched to another? I'd imagine you get some of those questions, but they're trying to be polite about it, right? Because they're trying to lure you in like a college scout, right? So that's to your advantage right now, and you're kind of rewriting the books on that. So when I saw you start doing that when you first started really, I'm not saying performing because you've been a high-level shooter forever, but when you went to Lancaster and you ended up winning third or getting third, and then you went to Vegas and went on to win it, it changed the whole game, right? So that was when it was never what you had experienced in the past with the reception that you got from all the manufacturers, because that's all of a sudden is like, oh, we got a D1 player, we got to have this guy, wear this shirt, oh, let me send you some bows, let me send you some stabilizers, all that, right? So all that door of opportunities have been open. Rather than you soliciting them, they come and they solicit you. And that's the big difference between an amateur like me that says, man, I really like that, I wonder if I could ever get their stabilizers for something, nothing. I personally don't do that because I don't want to sign a contract with something I might not like. But at the same time, them coming to you asking that is really respectful. So now you start thinking about how good the equipment is, how you can perfect that through them, and it's just raising the bar for all these manufacturers. And that is something I've noticed that's different, that since we've had our shop for 25 years, that's just not been done. Most of the time it's get a good shooter, got a D1 shooter, fall in line, start shooting the stuff. We're going to make changes. We're going to take your opinions. We're going to make some changes to the equipment as we go. Yours is, since there's such a desire to have you for most companies on their team, they're listening to you before and in hopes to get that. So it's causing every company to make small changes that is not going to get Bodie, but it's going to get that level of shooting, you know, and now they see that it's important to them to make a bow that everybody would be drawn to. So we appreciate that for sure, especially owning a business. We have 4 shops, and we get traveled around the whole Northwest, seeing all these great shooters like Cisco out of Advantage here, and a lot of these great guys that are up here shooting. That's just I think, a tell of the future, and it's a point in the needle in a little different direction that manufacturers haven't had to think about before. So if you're hard to get, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
And you're going to go to where you think you can get that bow to shoot the best. So quickly, let's just talk about this new concept. I know you just got it. I don't have much of an opinion of it, good or bad yet, because you've not shot it enough. But let's talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I've been liking it so far. It has the feel that I like. Just still learning it and getting it, really figuring out what it likes, what arrow build, what things like that. Doesn't seem like it's quite like my Invicta, but it has a similar feel and bend to some of my Invictas, which I do really like because I shot the Invictas for a long time.
Well,
Did
you
with them.
skipped the podium and won with the Invicta.
Yeah.
So that tells you how much you like the Invicta,
Yeah.
right? And so comparing that to it, that's the thing that you'll do. You'll skip all the others, and when you're comparing one to
Just
the other, I
figure
assume
out
that's
which
what you
one's
do.
the best, yeah.
It doesn't matter the age of the bow or the gen it was. It matters how it shot for you, and can you get this new bow to feel as good and as confident as that other.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I've like to tell younger shooters. I mean, like, I won Vegas with a bow off Facebook.
Right.
I won Vegas and Lancaster with bows off Facebook. And Reading, and like, you don't have to have the best, or I mean, you might need a good setup. It doesn't have to be brand new out of the box when you're first just getting into it. I mean, once you get further along and you get opportunities to try new equipment, of course you can do that. But when you're just getting started and getting into this, it doesn't hurt to just find a bow and build your shot and your platform off of that system,
Right.
which is what I've done with the Invicta.
And that's key. So a lot of times people think that they've got to go in and drop $4,000 to be competitive. That's not the case at all, because there's always somebody chasing the newest level of product. So there's always somebody that's going to sell a 2-year-old bow that's capable of winning Vegas, just like you did, and start out for $1,000 because they want to get somebody into the sport. So they're going to sell that bow cheap. And Facebook is a good spot, but I'm prejudiced to pro shops, obviously, because I support as much brick and mortar as I can, but we have to do our part to change that too, right? So this is why we travel around and we talk to the different owners about how we can better the sport, and then have people drawn to us. Just like we're trying to, you've got manufacturers trying to recruit you. We're trying to recruit new customers. We're trying to recruit new people into the sport. And although it's convenient to shop online, we want people to trust their pro shops. We want people to see that it's a valid place to get the best advice that you can get on the planet. Now, when you get to your level, do you walk into any of our shops and us fix your stuff?
No.
Not anymore, right?
No.
But didn't you when
Yeah,
you first
I
started?
have, yeah.
Because you can't, a shop can't fix a bow to the level that you shoot it. The shooter has to, right?
Yeah.
And I think you're going to hear that across the board. So if you're going to really elevate your game, you have to learn everything you can through the resources, through your pro shops. That don't mean that you want to tech on it. That just means you can't explain sometimes the things that you need to explain to a shop that you can make a quick change to, try it out for a couple of games, and then change it back if you don't.
Yeah.
Paige is really good at explaining that. When I'm watching her she tried this the other day with V-bars off the front of the mount instead of the back of the bar, and she thinks she's going to go right back to where she was. She even said that. But you don't know until you pass it, right?
Until you
Perfect
try
is
it.
always passed.
Yeah.
And that's what you're seeking too, I assume, right?
Yep, you just move stuff until you find that honey spot, but you want to see how good you can get it, so you'll probably end up going just past it. And when you find that spot you really like, you gotta figure out and take measurements and things like that. So that way, if you do go past it, you can always get right back to it.
Right, and that's what shops can help too. If you're not sure it's perfect, but you're not sure what you should care about, shops can help you work that out. The D-loop length, the full brace height, the full draw length, the measured draw length from the grip to the end of the D-loop, those type of things that you want to mimic again.
Yeah.
Kind of like fitting a bicycle for a pro racer.
Yeah.
You want the neck seat to fit the
Yeah,
same
you want
too.
it to be perfect.
Last couple of things, and then we'll let you go, is what shoots you got lined up. So I know you're here this weekend.
Yep.
And then what's next?
Archery World in December 7th and 8th.
Yeah, so the Archery World Classic's your next. That's December 6th through the 8th. I want to say there's about 180 people signed up for that right now. We're really shooting for around 225 or 250. If we can get there, we'll go to a venue next year. We'll kind of have outgrown the space of Lacey. We're really wanting to fill every seat in the house for that last one that we hope will be a good one. And then at that point, what's after, and we try to mimic that, and we're thinking of you when we put this together and other top shooters that like to travel to these big shoots like Lancaster Classic and Vegas, right? So we tried to plagiarize what Lancaster Classic has done on purpose to help you feel some pressure before you go. So then after the Classic, what do you got?
I should have the Rushmore Rumble. Not quite sure. I think that's beginning of January. And then I'll have Lancaster, and then I'll have Indoor Nationals, and then I'll have Vegas.
Gotcha. And so those, and how did that cause you to? You probably shooting around, but did your arrow count change when you found out Vegas was going to be a little later this year, 3 weeks later, or is it just the same for you no matter what?
It's probably about the same. I just have to shoot indoor longer. I like indoor, but I deliberately started it later this year. I always end up starting in like August, but I didn't really start putting time into it until probably October this year.
Well, I hope you guys are listening to that. So most of the time we don't have any leagues, or shops have very few leagues in July, August, and September, because July and August are really busy months for the shops. They're trying to make their money, and September everybody's trying to hunt. And then we usually start the leagues up in October. So that's when most of us pick up our target bows, is October to early November. And you pick yours up then and start shooting it in August, when Classic Vegas is at the beginning of February, but now we're pushed back into March, so now you just picked it up a month
A little bit later, just to kind of.
So you're going to your same training cycle, I guess is the point. So if you want to peak at a certain time, and is that your peak?
I mean, what I really try and do, I mean, I would say I have multiple peaks. So I'll get a setup shooting, shoot really good, and I'm like, I'm going to change this, and then I'll get it, and I'm like, well, it doesn't shoot that good. And I just build a whole new setup off of it. So, I mean, I shoot a lot when I'm trying to build a setup and find what I like. And then once I find that setup, then I'll just shoot it, just periodically, make sure I'm staying in good shooting shape.
Gotcha. That makes sense, because you're trying to win everything, right? So somebody that's trying to win everything has to peak at a certain time for the biggest event they have in mind that they're going to go to for that specific thing, whether it's ASAs or outdoor nationals or Vegas, whatever it is. Or and some people might not get to shoot. So I guess last thing I'm trying to make a point of is adjust your shooting schedule and your training cycle to meet the peak performance that you can get. So if you know you're not going to Vegas, but Lancaster's going to be your culminating shoot, you want to peak then, right? Yeah. So if you're going to peak then, you might have to start in July to get ready for if you knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, just to really figure out and give yourself enough time to build setups and try different things.
Well, we'll try to talk to you again another time, another shoot, some other place. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions that come through on arrow count and what you do, how many, when's it the right time to take a break to not burn out. Those type of things people are always curious about, especially when you can talk so clearly about it and then think back to not so long ago when you were an amateur and you were trying to work those details out yourself. And as and somebody like Jesse Broadwater's been doing it forever. His schedule, he don't know what before 20 years is like. Maybe he can remember that, right? But you're young enough, and we want to pick your brain because it wasn't so long ago that you were working those details out yourself, and it's got you where you're at. So we appreciate the time. Thanks, and then good luck today.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Okay, guys, the line tomorrow will start at 10 o'clock, so be here at 10 o'clock. Does that work?
Be here at 10 o'clock.
Shooting starts at 10 o'clock.
Be here before
Be here before 10.
What time are you on today?
We'll be here all day.
All right. Making sure we got a good mic here. I think it is. All right, they're on their last end right now, so you just got to hopefully hear Bodie and I talk about Bodie and his plans, how he sets a couple of things up as far as planning for shoots and getting to peak at the right time. And we're going to watch this last end here on the 12 o'clock line. After this, we'll start uploading the 12 o'clock line while we're filming the 3 o'clock line, and then we wish we could go live, but there's just so much data that it has to push through here. This is downstairs in a basement. It's always something. This is why you don't see it very often, but we're going to get it out here. So over time, we'll get all those small details worked out, so we'll be able to go live, and you'll be watching it as we're watching it. You're just going to be watching it an hour or so late right now. We'll try to get you.
That's Lindsay there on 9. And we'll see where her final shot goes. Ooh, solid shot there for Lindsay.
Me too.
All right, final end. We're going to catch that. The end of this 12 o'clock line, we're going to come back. We're going to hit the 3 o'clock line. We'll get a lot of Bodie, and I'm not sure who all is on that line, but we'll get a list of shooters on there, and so we'll try to accommodate and call for them a little bit, show you what they're doing. So we'll get ready to sign off here really shortly. We'll try to see if Jacey's got scores and everything ready. And if she's got the scores from a 12 o'clock qualifying line ready, we'll start to talk about that and where everybody's stacking up as well. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Look for part 2, which is going to be the Advantage Archery Heart Foundation shoot, part 2. That'll be the qualifying 3 o'clock line. You'll get to see Bodie shooting on that line. It's a qualifying round. And then Sunday, tomorrow, we will also be filming everyone that is coming from all the different locations that they qualified for to do a shoot down. Until next time.
Like and subscribe if you like what we're doing here.